But will that human dare to help? Watch these animals that ask people for help till the very end to find out the answer. This horse was abandoned. It was the best thing that had ever happened to her because she had been locked up for 10 years without any care whatsoever by her owners. Look at how happy she is to have a shower. The horse's hooves were so overgrown that she could barely walk. The volunteers had to cut them down piece by piece, which made it painful for her to even stand. But the mare got through it, and just look at her now.
Because it really hurts.
Imagine what it's like for a mother to hear the cry of her child and not be able to help. She was sure that the man was there to harm her baby, but she had him all wrong.
Come on, you're nearly back through. Come on then. Come on. Look. Here you are, look. Good boy. All right. Come on. Come on. He's a good boy. Go and protect your baby. You feeling a bit calmer?
After a bombing, the man living here lost everything. His dog didn't even have time to run out of the house. The odds were slim that the pup was still alive, but rescuers didn't lose hope. And then, a miracle. The owner of an animal shelter went to see what his dogs were barking about and heard a tiny kitten crying for help.
Joj, pošteno. Joj, pošteno.
It looks like a happy ending, but if he hadn't decided to come back the next day, these two wouldn't have survived. Things couldn't get any worse for this abandoned dog, and then he got electrocuted. The next 5 minutes of his life were critical, but he made it.
Olha! Caraca!
We don't know how this cow ended up in a canal, but we do know that it would have been impossible to get her out without heavy equipment. Luckily, these workers weren't afraid to stop what they were doing and help. Two cubs and their mother could have become a hearty meal for a pack of wolves if not for the courage of one forester.
Nie! Zostawcie!
This kitten was using the last of its strength to cling to life, but it only had minutes left. The veterinarian had to do all he could to save the creature, but Tarzan didn't give up. He's gonna live. To a 10-ton whale that got stuck in the mud in shallow water. It wouldn't have lasted until the tide came back in, so these kind folks stayed with it. Freezing to death is a terrible fate, but these donkeys miraculously survived the night at -40 degrees Celsius. Returning them to their previous owners was out of the question, but at least now they'll have a new home. Watch these elephants block people's way to ask them for help. They somehow realized that a vehicle was the only thing that could get their 8-month-old baby out of the pen. The way he immediately ran to his mother just breaks my heart. Humans shouldn't interfere with wildlife, but when this mountain vulture was left without a mother, people decided to take a chance. For 136 days, they fed the bird with a drone until it could fly on its own. Mama Drone is no longer needed. This squirrel is convulsing while having a heart attack, and this man makes a heroic attempt to bring the squirrel back to life. He gave it a heart massage and glucose to drink until the poor thing could gather its strength, and it decided to stay with him. This guy couldn't think of another way to save this fox except to throw a rope down to it. Apparently, this is the Einstein of foxes. A misplaced jump landed a kangaroo in some barbed wire. It's scary to think that if this man hadn't found him first, predators would have had the easiest buffet of their lives. A sick puppy begged for help from every person that walked by, but everyone pushed her away because of how she looked. Everyone except this guy. He knew that this good girl could be cured and that she was worth it.
Don't do it. Don't do it, don't do it. Oh,
When this woman rushed to the aid of a kangaroo, she didn't fully understand what an incredible thing she was doing. A 7-month-old baby was fighting for its life in the mother's pouch, and now it'll have a new mother. A herd of camels had traveled a very long distance through the desert until these people stopped them to give them a good drink. You see, camels can walk about 160 kilometers without drinking, but these animals were already at their limit. We have no idea how this goat ended up on the power lines, but one thing's for certain. Its life was entirely in these people's hands. They tried to get the animal down, but failed and went straight to Plan B. So, you're old enough to have kids, but when it comes to your house, you immediately call mommy for help. Well, the ducks aren't different from humans. A goose without a beak can't eat even if the food is right in front of it. But this poor thing is lucky to be the first goose in history to have a 3D printed beak. This little dolphin wasn't strong enough to fight the waves, but then this man gave it a helping hand. Believe it or not, this moose approached humans on its own to ask for some water, and he was in luck. This little fox was in serious trouble and made the bravest decision of its life. It took to the road hoping that humans would help, and it worked. Watch as this man saves a baby bird from thirst. Moments like this make my heart melt. Imagine that you're a huge cobra and you come to a man for a drink and he gives you a shower. Some people are idiots. These dogs were simply left behind after a flood, but this guy refused to leave the area until he had taken everyone with him. If you think cancer's just a human thing, check out this 22-year-old great pied hornbill named Yari. A small crack in his beak eventually led to the whole thing being removed. Doctors managed to make a prosthesis, and it was such a good fit that the bird even dyed it yellow with a special pigment from his tail. Everyone had assumed that this dog was just pregnant, but it turned out that almost 10 liters of fluid had accumulated inside it. Fortunately, one person actually noticed and was able to get the dog some help. Just look at how this crowd of strangers rallied together when a 10-meter whale suddenly washed ashore. Moments like this restore my faith in humanity. A run-in with a poacher cost this eagle its beak along with its ability to eat, but a consultation with some caring doctors gave the bird a new lease on life. And now it's time to ask you, has your faith in humanity been restored? If so, be sure to share this video so that as many people as possible can see these heroes. Also, subscribe to the channel and like the video so we can make more of them for you. See you soon!